Well, let's get talking now. Africa is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies, has a young population, and has proven to be a fertile market for digital financial services. The continent leads the world in mobile money adoption, with digital transactions in Africa accounting for more than 45% of global mobile money transactions. Now, all these factors make the continent a strong candidate for the adoption of new financial services and technology, despite huge investments into the industry over the years and the presence of big players working to shape its infrastructure. The long-standing narrative is that the space is still heavily fragmented. Let's talk more about this. Look at the pros and the cons of the digital payments across Africa now. I have live in the studio the head of SID Digital Nigeria, Mr. Stanley ANETOH. Thank you so much for your time. It's good to have you on Business Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Tolu. Thanks for having me.
Yes, there seems to be so much talk around digital payments, even at this time that the central bank is talking about digital currencies and all of that. Take us through what seems to be the positives in this if it were to be well adopted by any country.
Thank you very much for the question. So digital payments is huge, and digital payments across the world, it's a technology that's being embraced by all countries. Some of the numbers you've read showing that there's a global adoption for fintech companies and startups. You'd see that predominantly many of them are in the digital payment space because that space is continuously evolving. So the impact of that in the economy is huge. Yes. And you have a large teeming population of youths that embraces technology. So you always have to keep pushing such technologies to be, to be provided, to be adopted in the system.
So what tech areas are you focused on if you have to really shed more light on your kind of area of focus?
Okay, so SI Digital is a subsidiary of Security Limited, and we're a fintech company focused on solutions around digital payments, digital ID, and transport technology. We have a prime product called digital card, and basically what it does is just basically put up your contactless card on your mobile. So you see many people, because of COVID, have definitely moved digital. So we are pushing these solutions digital. You have a physical card, we are making it be active on your phone. And we're empowering the banks to be able to provide this to its customers. So we see ourselves as technical partners to the banks to empower them to be able to provide such solutions to the public.
Sounds very interesting, but because the banks are also going digital, of course, we see that fintech and all of that. So in direct forms, what are you doing to support the actualization of this with the financial institutions?
So we're actually doing a lot. We've been actually preaching this for the past 4 years. And, it takes some time to actually permeate into the system.
Change is another
basically because you need mobile phones, infrastructure to catch up and all of that. But the banks are grabbing this. Why? Because the customers are requesting for this. So you see a lot of people procure a phone that has all of these amenities but cannot use it because the system is not ready to adopt that. So we are now working with the banks to say you need to update this infrastructure, update your mobile banking app, update your systems to be able to allow your customers tap into these features so that Bank A customers can have it on their mobile and then, use it contactless on the POS or any infrastructure that accepts contactless payments. We are also, involving the CBN, or we're working with the banks in association with the CBN and the card schemes. So the card schemes are, the predominant Verve, MasterCard, Visa, to bring in that level of security and assurance and convenience that customers are enjoying physically on the bank card, and we're bringing it on the mobile. So we are pushing, or we are working with the banks to expand their infrastructure to accommodate these new technologies on their mobile apps.
You just identified that now: infrastructure, transparency issues, security issues. What are we doing to check all of this? It's very important.
Yes, so with disruptions and technology comes some loopholes. Of course, like I speak to our customers, you have to balance functionality and security. For us in the payment space, security is number one. then we lap on, functionalities and convenience on top of that. So what we are doing is EMV globally is recognized for secure payments. Anywhere you go in the world, EMV technology is actually prime. So we sat down and we said that there's a lot of technology disruptions going on in this digital space. How can we combine the most successful payment system known as EMV? How can we combine that with digital technology? So we are trying to bring in, or we are bringing in all the functionality, security, convenience, and safety measures around EMV technology, and we are lapping it on top of mobile technology. So what you have, if you have your bank card today, you do know that if you're putting into a POS, you have that assurance and convenience that yes, my payments, once I'm debited, I have no qualms, I have no problems with the flow in that. So we want to bring that into you having your mobile phone, tapping that, and you are assured that every single process involved in actually debiting or making a payment, you have that assurance that there isn't any fraud or loophole in the system to guarantee that payment.
Brilliant stuff. But let's now look outside the banking space. What more is being done? Because we need to promote digital technology, not just in the banking space. So what can be done to also bring those outside that box into the box?
Well, so there is always the aspect of creating technology, and then technology has to meet human needs.
True.
At that point where you meet human needs, you have to solve problems. We have a lot of problems in Africa, so there's a lot of opportunities. Take, for example, SID Digital. We recently are the first fintech company to actually develop a transport solution e-ticketing system for the railway. We recently deployed it for the Abuja Cardinal Railway, and it's currently, used by, passengers every day. And this is a technology that, before now cash was predominant and all the issues around cash. So for us, we have solved a big problem in Nigeria using technology. So it's just the beginning. We are actively in the system. We are scouting around and we are looking around for the problems we can solve using our technology. And I assure you, we will definitely get to the.
So let me now ask that. Discussions like this brings up roundtables, conferences, and all of that. And I think one is forthcoming. What message do you think will be passed here, and what do you think participants and of course players in the sector, what will be their take home after this gathering?
Well, I believe the take home will be that I think they're going to see the brilliance of the Nigerian youth. That's first off. Indeed. The brilliance of the Nigerian youth and the efforts that Nigerians are putting behind to be able to ensure that the Nigerian economy is at par with international standards when it comes to digital payments and technology in general. There's a whole lot of we have fantastic products that will be displayed on that day, and I believe that every participant or every guest in that event would understand why Nigeria or the public have to actually go and support most of these products that are being churned out by the fintechs. Yes.
Indeed, it's a challenging one because everyone will come up with different products. But let's now look at the future of digital payments. What are you thinking? What do you think will play out? Should we look at short-term, medium-term, and long-term for the entire space?
So whenever we have this conversation, it's an unending conversation. You know why? The technology space is a very, very aggressively disruptive space. So today we can talk about the technology. In the next 30 minutes or the next month, it has evolved into something better. So short term, I do believe that we are ripe for the age of technologies like contactless payments, which I mentioned already. Long term, I see AI, blockchain, and other technologies like that actually dominating the space. AI, especially virtual reality, is also huge, and all of the technologies you have now will all morph into forming infrastructure for future technology. So I'm talking about contactless technology today, but contactless technology will evolve into, a form of payment in maybe, let's say, metaverse. So all of these technologies all form infrastructure for future technologies. But for now, I strongly believe that one of the major infrastructure that we need to put in place today is contactless. COVID has actually taught us that, contactless is the future, and it has to be on mobile. So all solutions that, follow this trend must be secure and convenient for the consumers to actually adopt.
How competitive is this space at the moment, and how easy would you say, what is government doing to make it so easy to come into this space and become a player? How easy has it been?
Well, I would say that it's been very, very competitive. I trust Nigerians. We are very, very competitive
because
people.
we are,
yeah,
we're everywhere.
Good. Yeah, it's good because it encourages innovation. If you take that away, then innovation becomes a bit lax. So it makes everybody actually be on top of their toes. It makes everybody actually start thinking, okay, you know what? The next company has done that. My own product has to surpass this, do that. So it's quite wonderful that we are having such a challenge, because it's actually involving the youth. The government, on the other hand, has been quite helpful. I would majorly mention the support of CBN, NIDA, NIBS. These should I say, institutions, government institutions, have actually gone that extra mile to ensure that they provide the infrastructure or the enabling environment to allow the fintech ecosystem flourish.
I'll soon let you go, but let's talk about infrastructure challenges. There are, of course, challenges in this part of the world when it has to do with payments like this, mobile payments and digital payments and all of that. How are you guys coping? How has it been seamless, doing all of this, and what can be done to make it seamless?
Well, how we're coping is, I think that is another segment.
Another segment of
discussion. But I do know that one area that needs very, very urgent fixing is power. Every major technology runs off an infrastructure, a physical infrastructure, a computer, a server, and server runs off power. If you don't have power, nothing happens. So I think that is the biggest problem fintechs are experiencing, aside funding, which I believe government is already doing enough. You see most of the unicorns already we have in Nigeria. So funding is becoming a solved issue. But I think power is still the major thing that needs to be properly solved. Yeah.
Honestly, that needs to be really addressed as soon as it can. Well, I hope to see you at the conference too. I should be there to see a lot of prosperity. I expect the central bank too should be part of that, and I think they will be having a discussion there from I think the deputy governor. Or what more support are you guys looking for from the Central Bank of Nigeria? So
I think regulation. Because I would say that in the area of the contactless payment I'm talking about, CBN is a big player in that, and they've been able to regulate to say that, for certain payments shouldn't be allowed if you don't have this security in place and all that. They're doing fantastically well on that. I think we need more support in that area to regulate and ensure that they put all of these, laws in place to allow us flourish. Yeah.
All right, then that means we'll keep a tab on you. I would have you again to talk about this and to see, maybe post the event to see the take-homes and see how positive that will impact your kind of business. Thank you so much for you joining us this first day of the month of June. We appreciate you, Mr. Stanley ANETOH. I've been speaking to him. He's the head of SRD Digital Nigeria there, letting us understand digital payments, what it means, forthcoming conference, and all that we should expect from that space. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.